think we're on.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I just never know. Gotta give me the, hey, we're on side.
Well, let's say, okay, hey, we're on.
Okay.
So, Barb, this is episode
15.
15. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Cynthia.
My name is Barb.
My
And
beautiful sister.
we're sisters. And we're also the owners of River City Yarns in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We have a podcast that's all about knitting and crochet and what it's like to run a local yarn shop.
Yeah.
Because I think that's something that a lot of people kind of like to aspire to even.
They ask us questions.
All the time.
And oftentimes people come in and they look around and they say, I'd love to have a yarn shop like this, or I'd love to have a yarn shop in my local area. So one of the things we strive to do is also to have kind of an online presence so we can reach out to people who maybe don't have an LYS in their local area.
Right. And we are so thankful to everybody who's been watching the YouTube channel and commenting.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's kind of like you're right here. You know, and every week every month we try and choose a different location in our store. So today we're going to be talking about Adam and Eve. And so we've kind of placed ourselves strategically in front of our collection of Adam and Eve. And then below it you'll see biscotti, which we're going to talk about today. And we've also got ancient arts. We're going to mention them. And then we have some manos on the other side. So we're hoping that the camera picks up on all of this, or we'll put in pictures later on.
Yeah.
But this is the section of our store that has a lot of action.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of people knitting shawls right now.
That's right, yeah.
And so we wanted to show that to you.
Yeah. And I have to say, just back to the whole idea of, saying thank you to people for leaving comments. It's the beginning it's the early April. The weather here is still cold and miserable. And I have to tell you, Barb, I've been fighting all week at being cheerful.
Have you?
It's overcast. It's cold. Last night it snowed and I just felt like crying. It's true. So when I want to cheer myself up, I think about all the interactions that we have every day with people.
Yeah.
I think one of the beauties of having a local yarn shop is just that you interact with people every day. So no matter how you're feeling, by the end of the day, you have the collection of stories. Yesterday, I left the store feeling like I was helpful because I answered a few questions, talked to people about their projects. And so it means so much to me how kind people have been to us and the great comments that people have been leaving on YouTube, and they come into the store and they'll say that they enjoy the podcast. And so that just makes me feel really, really happy inside.
Absolutely.
So thank you, because it's gloomy out there, and I really appreciate that.
And it's warm and cheery inside here, and it's because of you. So thank you very much for watching us and continuing along. I keep thinking some days, I bet you I'd put a few people to sleep ranting on and on about stuff. But
Yeah. It's really good. We're very lucky.
So even if you like to sleep while watching the podcast, it's okay.
Well, leave a note. We have a sister who's suffering right now from sleeplessness, and she and I were joking the other day about listening to an audiobook to help you fall asleep. And so maybe that's what people do is, they can listen to our podcast and have a little nap and, feel
Cynthia,
better.
I have to tell you this story because Mario,
this is Barb's husband.
My husband, he, his way of relaxing is to lay down on the couch, and he has the tablet plugged into headphones, and he turns on a video, like a car video, and in about 5 minutes, he's out. It's just like a light.
Yes.
So I think this podcast thing could be, a way of relaxing. And whether you actually listen to it or it puts you to sleep, it's all good, right? I mean, who can get enough sleep at this time in our lives?
Yeah.
It's so busy.
Yes.
So.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So hopefully we're being soothing.
Yes. Maybe we have to make a loud squeak every once in a while just to wake up.
I think I have a loud laugh, so maybe that'll wake people up, or jar them from their sleep. You make jokes and I'll laugh.
Okay.
Sounds
good.
All right. So Barb, tell us what you've been up to, because we have some yarn here on the table.
Well, we talked about chatting about what's new, and I've been dyeing some yarn. When Cynthia and I went to Chicago, we found these cool kits, at Janet's shop at String Theory. And what they were was a little package of dye. It was called
in a tea bag.
In a tea bag.
Yeah.
It was called Tincture. And it's by a company called Abundant Earth Fiber. And we just thought, what a cool idea. Every little package had 2 tea bags in it with dye and then 2 bags with citric acid. And the idea was that you buy this big gallon kind of jar. It was glass. Yeah. And you put the dye in it, fill it up with boiling water first, and put the little tea bag in and stir it around. And at the same time, you're soaking your yarn, your undyed yarn in the sink, getting it wet. And then what you do is you bring the yarn and you just put it into the jar.
And walk away?
What, pretty much. Yeah. They after about, you stir it, and tie it up so it doesn't tangle. But you just put it in the jar and stir it around. Then after about a minute, you put the citric acid in.
And that helps to set the dye.
That's right. That helps set the dye. And then you start to watch the dye. As the dye absorbs into the yarn, the water starts to get clear.
Right.
It's just the coolest thing.
It's fun, hey?
Well, it's kind of addictive.
Right.
So I started dyeing this, and this is the color that I got from my dye package.
Yep.
And then I had a second one. So I took a ball of yarn, a ball of Epic.
So you wound it into a ball? Or you just took the whole ball?
I did. I just took the whole ball, and I soaked it in my sink, got it really wet, and then squished it out. I left it in the ball, and I put the ball inside the dye bath.
And so you've got a gradient yarn.
So I've got a gradient yarn. So
Sweet.
I thought, I'll get away with having to wind it into a skein. No. I still needed to wind it into the skein.
Because you have to let it dry.
Dyed.
Yeah. But this is cool. So the outside of the ball took more of the dye.
Right.
And the inside of the ball took less of the dye.
See, and you can see it right here.
Yeah, so when you go to knit this up, or if you were to wind this into a ball again,
right,
you'd end up with, the outside or the inside being darker than.
Right.
So yeah. What do you think you might knit this into?
I don't know. I think maybe a hat, or I might just team it with this one. This one's superwash. I believe, right?
This was the yarn we picked up in Chicago.
Right.
And Epic is a yarn that we carry here in the shop that's just exclusive to our shop. It's our in-house workhorse yarn that we call Epic.
Yeah.
100% wool.
So I might do something together with it.
Right.
This one's called Verdant. It's a undyed yarn. It's 80 merino, 20 rambouillet.
Right. You've been on a quest to find rambouillet.
I have been on a quest.
When we were in Chicago, every time we went into a store, Barb would say, "Do you have any rambouillet?"
Well, it's Julie Aslan's fault, Julie. This is your fault because you turned me on to nurtured and
Right. Julie Aslan is a wonderful dyer in Montreal, Quebec, and we carry some of her yarns here in the store. And we met up with her a few times.
Yeah.
In fact, we met up with her in Chicago. Her and her dad.
Yeah.
And her dad commented on what a lovely smile you have.
Oh,
He was really nice.
He was very nice.
Yeah.
It was so nice to see the two of them traveling together too. Like, how great to have your family members help you.
Right?
Because Julie had a busy weekend. She was, working and setting up and dropping off yarn.
She had her yarn at one of the booths in at Vogue Knitting Live, and then I think she did a lecture or a talk or something.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, we missed that one, but yeah. Good.
So and what have you been up to?
Well, I've been just admiring. So I gave Barb my yarn and my dye, and she dyed it for me. And so I've got a beautiful skein of like an eggplant color, and this is also the Rambouillet Merino mix. And then you also did a couple. So you don't want to waste any of it, right? So Barb also exhausted the dye bath by throwing in another couple of skeins of Epic.
Right.
And so I've got 3 skeins that are kind of gradient in the sense that you go from darker to lighter in here. So that might be kind of fun to play with as well.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
So maybe
I love this color.
It is pretty. What about doing Holli's shawl, the Stargazer?
Oh, that would be really nice. Yes.
Right?
Stargazer is a shawl that uses I think 4 100-gram balls.
Okay.
But that's fine because, the border on it could be a different color. So the center interior part of it could be in this sort of fading colorway, and then the border could be even
That would be
white.
really
Would look really
pretty.
nice with the purple. Yeah, yeah.
Or I can just get some more dye.
And dye some more for
Or
me.
do you a speckle for the border?
Right.
Do purple and white, right?
Yeah, that would be very nice. Okay.
Okay,
Sounds good.
stay tuned. All right. So what else have you been up to?
Oh my goodness. So it's been really busy. Like the store has been really busy. And then we've had a couple of instructors. We've had some staff members who've been sick, so
Right.
we've been filling in for shifts.
That always happens when you start your own local yarn shop. Be
Expect to
prepared.
be on call. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had some issues with our point of sale system. You know, everything happens at once. And then, but luckily for me, I would consider it to be lucky. I coordinate all the workshops for the store. And so that means we're so busy I don't get to teach very much. And I hesitate to put myself down for a teaching shift because, you know, you never know what might crop up, right?
Yeah.
But we had one instructor out this week, so I got to teach continental knitting.
So how did that go? Because
Well,
you're not a continental knitter regularly.
I'm not. So
You're ambidextrous, and she's incredibly bright.
Thank you. That's very kind.
Mom and Dad spent all the education funds on Cynthia.
Right. Anyway, I taught continental knitting, and in the class we do a swatch. We have all of our students do a swatch, and it turns into a coffee cup cozy, which is really nice. And it's the pattern's been designed by our regular instructor, Suzanne. And then the other thing we do is we challenge everybody to do a pair of mittens, continental style, because we feel that if you're going to really give this style of knitting a good chance, you need to do an entire project with it. And the pattern that we use is one from Tin Can Knits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, our friends in Vancouver. And it's called the world's simplest mittens. The world's...
Maybe we can even put a picture of it in or something.
We can. Yeah, the world's simplest mittens. It's a free pattern from Tin Can Knits. It's part of their Simple collection. So I've been working on a pair of mittens, continental style, and I have to say, Barb, I think I'm getting pretty good at it.
Let's see. Do you have them with you?
I do.
Great. Let's pop. We can pop right into whips. Except that you haven't told everyone that you were working out. You started. Cynthia started.
I have
going to the
another
gym.
work in progress, and that is getting ready to go. My husband and I are going on a trip to Wales, and there'll be lots of walking in Wales because I'm too afraid to rent a car because everyone there drives on the other side of the road.
Oh.
And I love to drive. I love driving holidays, but it's and gasoline is very expensive in Europe. So we're going to take the train, we're going to take the bus, and I've dusted off my backpack from many years ago. So I've been going to the gym 3 times a week and working out on the elliptical machine to get my legs in shape for all that walking.
Yeah, and the cardio.
Get a little bit healthier too. And I was saying, yesterday was a busy day and it was snowing and it was crazy. And at the end of the day, I put on my gym clothes and I went to the gym and I spent an hour on the elliptical machine, and it does make you feel a lot better.
You get energized. You get positive endorphins, I think, from working out, right?
The other thing I like to do is knit and go to the gym.
Ooh.
But I don't think I can do
that?
it. If you have a simple project, and you don't have to hold on to anything. So for the first 10 minutes, it's okay. And then after that, when you get winded, you have to put it down. Anyway.
I see you on a treadmill with, sharp, pointy needles.
It's only bad if one of your needles falls out. So if you're going to do this, my advice is magic loop. So that your needles are attached to your work and nothing falls out.
Yeah.
But look at my simplest, my little mitten here.
Oh my gosh, that's cute.
And I've been doing this all holding the yarn in my left hand. And I think I'm getting good at it.
So you're using Barocco Ultra Wool.
Yes, I am.
What do you think of that?
I love it.
It's nice, isn't it?
It is. And here again, this is another challenge of being a retailer. You get in this beautiful yarn.
Yeah.
And you want to try it out so you can tell your customers what it's like to work with. And then you struggle to find the time to do it. So Jana, one of our staff members, volunteered to do a hat to put on display with ultra wool. So this is the leftover from that. And so I used it in class as my class sample, and I really like it. So it's a superwash wool, 100% wool superwash. Comes in a nice variety of colors. Barb's ordered us, I think, probably 20, 24 colors.
Probably more.
So I thought this would make a nice little mitten for Hayden, whose birthday. Both Hayden and Rachel's birthdays are coming up. So
yeah,
you know, you can knit mittens all year long. You throw them in a box, and then come next November, you start handing them out, and people think you're a genius because you got them there.
Or come April, and you're still using them. You know you're in Canada when.
Right. My husband broke out his thrummed mittens the other day. Yeah, he said, that's it. I'm going for a walk, and put on his thrummed mittens, and away he went. Yeah.
Well, I had to go truck dumpster diving. With that's another thing that happened this month. Carrie came from Big Blue Mama, and she sells us these gorgeous baskets. Do you have yours? Yeah, just hold it up. Okay, look at these. These are amazing. She's carrying too much in that basket, but Carrie, those handles work really, really well.
My husband claims this is bigger than the baby bassinet.
There's a baby Moses story in here somewhere, I think. But yes, so Carrie came, and her truck was just filled to the rafters. And this was a day when it was minus 15 degrees. It's April. It's supposed to be warm here. And there was like a 35-mile-an-hour wind. It was so cold. It was like, the wind was like just biting at our ears. I had to come back in and put on mitts, a hat, and an extra toque.
Just to bring those baskets in.
Yeah. Well, we had to select which ones we wanted.
Right.
We're real picky. We want
the baskets are lovely.
They are,
and I just love that I can cram so many projects in it. Yeah. And so you sit down at night and you go, which one do I want to work on right now? Yeah, it's lovely.
So if you're in the neighborhood, come on by and check out our basket selection because it's really good right now. Unfortunately, we don't send these out. We don't put them on our online store because they're just too hard to ship. But anybody who's local can come on in and have a great selection right now. I'm just looking up because they're all lined up on the stairs and they're so beautiful.
Yeah, they are really nice.
Very nice.
But for those of you who can't get a basket, we have other project bags that are really nice as well. And I think you're working on some new designs for project bags.
Yeah.
Which is, just really quickly, one more thing. This month, speaking of bags, Barb challenged us to challenge our customers to stop using plastic or at least not use it unless it's absolutely necessary. So when customers have been coming up to the counter, we've been saying to them, if you have your own bag or if you'd like to carry your yarn or if you'd like to purchase a reusable tote, we'll put your name in a draw. And it's been really popular.
I know. And
I keep thinking it's like rewarding people for bringing a bag as opposed to saying, that'll be $5 or 5 cents or whatever, right? So we've been using very little plastic, and I think that's been really encouraging. Yeah.
Well, and we have a nice little tote too that has a little water bottle holder on the side. I actually shoved 18 balls of yarn in that, so it doubles as a great little project bag. It's only $5, and it's a great little way to, something to carry around and to take into stores, whether you're going grocery shopping or
when we went to Chicago, we did that too. We took our little River City Yarns bags, rolled them up in a nice little ball, stuck it inside my handbag, and then when we went to shops and we found things, because you're going to find things, right?
Right.
We had a bag to carry them around in.
And I just feel it's such a waste of money to buy plastic bags, and I know, they've got our logo on them and everything, but I'm sure they just go straight into the garbage or the so anyways, we're going to try.
Ours are nice. I do think people reuse them, but still, it's just nice to know, especially now on CBC on the news. They've been talking about the amount of plastic in the ocean, the amount of plastic that they're finding in bottled water. And so I think anything that we can do, small as it is, to reduce the amount of plastic that's floating around this planet is good.
Well, and somebody else had a really good idea too on social media, right? Somebody said you should just offer a discount to our customers if they come in. And the discount could be bigger if they're bringing our little tote bag.
I didn't see that one.
I thought that was a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
We could give loyalty points too. So we're looking at some really nice new incentives.
Good ideas. Yeah.
Anyways, that's
all that aside. Yeah. What have you been working on?
It's been a busy week. Works in progress or FOs?
Well, do you have some FOs?
I think you should talk about the FO.
Yeah, the FO in the room.
Mine.
So Barb finished this beautiful shawl. What's it called again?
It's called Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend.
Right. And this is done in our special colorway from Biscott Yarns.
Yeah.
They did a flash mob colorway for us called Northern Lights. And the inspiration picture was a dark sky with pink and lime green aurora borealis.
It's
gorgeous.
So pretty.
And they captured the colors perfectly. And so Barb did this shawl, and
it took me a little.
I got to wear it.
Yeah, and you.
It took you a little bit longer because
you're supposed to have 9 diamonds. You start with 9 diamonds on the bottom, and I started with 10. Okay, call me an overachiever. I didn't know I had 10, but the result of that was because I had the 10th. Then in the next row, I needed to knit another one. And then on the next row, another one. And then another one and another. So I had, I went through my 2 balls of yarn.
I thought, what the heck?
I used your half ball of yarn. And then I still needed to get another ball. So I used 3 skeins of yarn.
But it's lovely, and I have to say, Barb, I like the fact that it's bigger because I feel like Claire from Outlander, because when I put this shawl on, I was able to just throw one end over the corner, stick in the shawl pin, and away you go. So a little bit wider is nice. Yeah.
Can you show us the back too?
You know what we'll do? Let's put in a picture afterwards of the shawl, and that way people can see the back because it's gorgeous, and then I don't have to move.
That's right. So it took me, I think, 3 episodes to get that knit.
But it's worth it. It's so soft.
Well, you guys, the yarn was like, butter. I'm telling you, it's so nice.
Yeah. So this is a mitered square construction, which means that you're picking up stitches each time you start a new square.
Right.
There's no sewing together.
Not really. I mean, I had to go back and, weave in a few little holes. And there was a drop stitch that I found. Yeah. So I had to fix that.
Good for you.
But I think, if anything, the picot bind off probably took just as much time.
Right.
But
so
it's
you had
pretty.
to pick up stitches for the picot bind off? Or did you do it?
Yes.
Did you do it as you go?
Yeah.
Okay. And you had talked to me about maybe doing like a different bind off, a different border.
Oh, I did actually. I did 2 different borders, but then I didn't like them.
Okay.
The other thing is I'm a little anal that way. And so I had to go back. I just decided I'm going to use what's in the pattern. And that way, when customers come into our store and they look at it, it's just like the pattern. Right? Except bigger.
Right. So if you want to do Barb's version, you'll need 3 skeins, and if you want to do the version the way the pattern was written, you'll need 2 skeins.
And if you're looking for it online, it's not there. Just phone us. We'd be happy to send you a photograph of all the colors that we have, and you can pick some out and we'll ship it to you.
Because this will work with any Biscott yarn.
Yeah.
It worked nicely because Biscott does this beautiful striping pattern.
Love it.
We do have a few skeins of Northern Lights left.
And are they still on the online store?
I believe so. If you type in Flash Mob or Northern Lights, it should come up.
Okay. Yeah. Super.
Yep. As long as we've got some in stock, it should be on the online store.
Yeah.
So thank you for letting me wear it today.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Do you have an FO?
I do not. Yeah, I have lots of... Oh, I guess I do. Yes. Well, why don't you tell us what you're wearing first? And then we'll talk about the gloves.
This I already talked about in another episode, but this top that I'm wearing is my all-time favorite top. Pat knit this for us. It was a store sample, but it was a little big for a mannequin, so I kind of snafu'd it. And I love it. Beautiful. It's called Lucia. It's pattern from Shibui.
Yeah.
I think I have a copy here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Shibui pattern originally called for twig or one of
reed.
Reed. 2 strands held together, and we don't have reed, so I use Silk Cloud and Seema.
Right.
2 strands held together, and
So
beautiful.
Sema is 50% alpaca, 50% merino wool, and Silk Cloud is, I think, it's mohair and silk.
100% heaven is what it is.
That's true. Yes.
I think I'm going to do my quintessential cardigan out of Silk Cloud too.
Okay.
Maybe double strand.
That's coming up.
This is kid mohair and silk.
Yeah.
60-40.
40% silk.
You know, that extra 10% or 15% silk, it makes such a huge difference.
It does. The mohair in here too is really nice.
Yeah.
So that kid mohair means it's the first shearing, right? It's the finest, like baby hair on the goat. So that's really nice.
Yeah, and I have a hard time, I have to be honest, wearing mohair at the best of times.
Yeah.
But this one, I seem to have no problem with.
So yeah, because that's right on your skin. There's
know.
no t-shirt or camisole.
Well, I'm wearing a
underneath
little cami
Oh,
underneath,
okay.
yeah.
Yep.
But the
It's
part
not
where I
picking you.
find it usually gets me is around my neck.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Not this one.
you guys got to try this combo. It's beautiful.
Yeah. All right.
So that,
And you got a necklace on too.
okay, this necklace, my friend Robbie made me.
It's beautiful.
It's little balls of yarn.
Felted balls.
balls.
Yeah. That's lovely.
This
such
needed
nice
a little
friends.
pop of color because we were talking about color today.
Yeah. Okay, and, then
And tell us
speaking
about your pin.
a pop of color. Oh, right. This is the a new rain design
Yep.
for our shop, and it works perfectly.
Aren't they great? I
Yeah.
love those
It's
pins.
light,
Super
that's,
light.
so it doesn't weigh you down,
And
or
it
weigh
doesn't tarnish.
Right.
You know, I've got a bunch of pins in my jewelry box
Right.
that are black.
This is I think hammered aluminum, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you
Very
needed
cool.
to, it is a little bit bendable. So if you needed to pop in that center so that you can put the shawl pin through it, it'll do that.
It'll let you do
Yeah.
that, and then it pops right back into shape.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can squish it down again. Yeah, it's perfect.
So cool.
All right.
Okay,
So,
where were we?
Did you say your hair was staticky? Here, my hands are a little sweaty here.
Oh my God.
let me touch you with my sweaty hands.
Oh, do you remember that Saturday
I
night?
do.
live? Oh, God. We're not even going
Don't
there.
go there. Don't go there. Okay.
Okay.
So the reason my hands are so warm is because I'm wearing these beautiful hand warmers. Don't you just love these?
I love them. They're beautiful. The pattern?
So the pattern. So we decided that we wanted to put a pattern on the ball band for our epic yarn, and so I said, "Oh, sure, I can whip up a pair of hand warmers." and then at the same time, we got this beautiful new yarn in from Carolyn,
Right.
from Ancient Arts, and she gave us a ball to try out.
That's right.
So you split it up,
Yeah.
and we
We
used
each got
it to develop a new pattern for hand warmers.
And at the same time, this is such a great story. There's a couple other things happening here. One was there was that social kind of thing going out where people were putting their hands in pictures. It was kind of like the pussy hat, but it was taking a stand. Do you remember that?
No.
And everybody had their hands up in the air in New York, and there was big, large protests, and people were raising their hands,
Oh.
and they were all wearing hand knit mittens and,
Oh,
and
cool.
gloves.
I completely
You completely
Missed that.
missed that one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was a thing. And then the other thing was that Caroline had sent us this yarn, and it happened to be a special breed.
Right, so this is 25% Manx Loughton. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's Loaghtan.
If anybody knows about this sheep, send us
Well,
some information.
You Googled it.
I did,
And
yeah.
it came out to be a sheep with multiple horns.
Yes, it looks amazing, and it's rare. I think it was kind of like extinct, and then someone in the UK started bringing it back,
Wow.
bringing the breed back,
Right.
and so now it's being used in production for yarn.
And then the other, so 25% Manx Loughton and 75% Punta Arenas wool. So that sounds like a South American wool.
Yeah.
So a nice blend of two different sheep breeds.
Well, and I think that the first one, the Loughton, is maybe a little rustic because this sheep kind of looks like the sheep on our epic ball band.
Or like an Icelandic sheep, maybe with some coarser hair to help it stay warm.
I think so.
Yeah.
And Carolyn told me that the actual undyed skein is slightly chocolate brown. Because this sheep is only chocolate brown.
Okay.
And it when she mixes it, she puts it with a really soft South American
Right.
merino, I believe.
Right.
And so it softens it up, but it still has
Right.
colored fiber, and that's what creates this really neat two-tone effect. This
Kind of a
almost,
heathered look.
yeah, it almost has a heathered look to it.
Or it's almost like I thought maybe she adjusted the dye amounts. Like it's got almost a variegated look
Well,
in terms of the tone, which is probably the
two
colors
fibers.
mixing together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, Caroline's a wizard when it
Yeah.
comes to colors.
It is. So the wool does feel a little crunchy, but it's not itchy. It's not scratchy. It's got a nice little crisp feel to it.
It does.
Still quite a bit of bounce on it, and the wool has that nice memory and elasticity that makes it really nice, I think, for ribbed things. So that's what these hand warmers are ribbed.
Yeah.
So the pattern will be on the ball band of our epic
yarn.
wool, if we can get the font small enough to fit it.
Yeah. Don't we
Otherwise,
have it on?
there'll be a link.
Isn't it a regular pattern too in our store?
No, I did some adjustments to it to make it fit the yarn.
Okay.
Because we do have an epic wrist warmer pattern, but that includes some mohair in it, so it's a different gauge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah,
forgetting.
this is really nice. So are we sort of looking at bringing this yarn in?
I was thinking about talking to Caroline and see if we couldn't get a few skeins for local yarn store day. We want to do a tasting.
Right.
So if you're around Edmonton on the 21st of April, come to local yarn shop day. It's a day that was kind of brought about by the National Needlework Association. This is their first year that they've done this, but they've coined this day to be National or Local Yarn Shop Day, and it's to feature local yarn shops and some of the special things that they do to bring the community together,
Right.
and to socialize with people who are knitters and crocheters.
Right. So celebrating independent businesses as well as the community that sort of
Exactly.
goes around it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
So in addition to bringing in some of this Manx-Louten, you also talked to Caroline about putting together some kits.
Right.
Yeah.
So
tell us about that.
we have a really special kit. It's actually on our online store right now, but it's minis, and they're color gradients. So I don't know if you can see Caroline's wall of ancient arts, but we have a whole section of it. And so she's taken minis from, say, 5 of her colorways and color combined them. And they're beautiful. So
Right.
we're offering those for sale as a special incentive. They come with a little charm
And a pattern. You get to
your
pick.
choice, one of 2 patterns,
Right.
and one of our RCY totes.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
Oh, nice.
so we're throwing one of those in
Right.
too.
So those will be going out, I believe, on the 21st. So
Well, people will be able to pick them up.
right.
She is still, I think at the time that we're airing this, she's still dyeing them.
Right.
And so they're coming to us in time for the 21st.
Right. So on our online store, you're basically pre-ordering.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of a nice thing to do now because then you can get the color that you want.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
there's only so many colors.
Right.
Only so many of each colorway that we're getting.
Yeah.
So if you're ordering on the online store, it means that you're pre-ordering and the kits will be available to pick up on the 21st, or
Right.
we'll start mailing out on
That's
that
right.
day.
Now, I am sure that Caroline would dye a skein of each yarn for you too, if you wanted to buy 5
Oh,
skeins, because
right.
these are her existing colorways.
Right, right.
She's got so many, she's able to put together color coordinated kits very easily.
So
But it's a special one-time offering for
right,
the
for these
minis.
kits, yes. So if people want an extra skein of a particular color, they should send an email
Yeah.
to us at
Yeah.
info@rivercityyarns.com, and then you'll talk to Caroline about adding that on to their order.
Absolutely. And just so you know too, Caroline told me that her colorways that we currently carry in the BFL, they're changing. They're going to make those colorways now on Socknato,
Oh,
which is the same base as our hockey yarn.
right, yeah.
And so, you guys, it's the most beautiful Italian merino wool. And so that's exciting for us because Carolyn told me that the colors are going to be just a little bit more crisp and vibrant on that merino base as opposed to the BFL.
She's phasing out her BFL?
She's phasing out the BFL.
Okay.
You know, BFL is kind of a tough find.
Blue-faced Leicester, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of a tough find yarn on the market, and there's only so much of it.
Right.
And so I think the merino is a little bit easier to get, but there could be other reasons too. We have to have Carolyn on our podcast
We do.
next.
We'll have to call her.
To give
right?
her,
Yeah, okay.
Talk to her about it.
Sounds
But this
good.
one, yeah.
This is really cool. I love it. And Carolyn's colorways are really nice. I don't even know how to pronounce this one because I think it's Syrah, but I think it might be Syra or something.
This is Syrah.
Syrah. Okay.
And the name of the colorway. And I think it's after a wine.
Ah, I see. But the yarn base
She
is
drinks
called
beer.
Lascaux, I think.
I think so.
It's a French name. Okay.
We'll get the
I'm
pronunciation.
not even going
on
to try
all
and butcher any of that anymore. All right.
All right,
Okay.
so-
So whips. We were talking about.
Yes.
We were talking about whips.
Yeah, let's talk about whips.
Okay. So you got one here in front of you. What's that?
This is my flying geese cowl. This cowl was part of a workshop that Cynthia and I took when we were in Chicago with Mary Jane Mucklestone, and it's called Flying Geese.
Mary Jane.
Yeah, it was so much
She's
fun.
lovely.
We are so lucky, aren't we?
We are.
And so I was so proud of my floats. Mary Jane, you'd be proud of me too, because look at my nice floats on
They're
the
very
inside.
nice.
I tried so hard to be loose,
Yes.
and I think I succeeded.
I think you did
What
as
do you
well.
think? 'Cause
Yeah,
you-
no, I think you did a great job. And they're nice and parallel. And they've got some elasticity in here. So when you go to block that, they're going to lay down really nicely. Good job, Barb.
Well,
Found
thank
it.
you.
Psh. Good work.
I'm still learning too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and I use my Adam and Eve. This is our yarn that we get from Handmaiden.
Sorry, this
Hand-
is Eden that you used.
Sorry,
Mhm.
Eden. Same company, Handmaiden makes this, but Eden is the worsted weight
Right.
version. And this one was a gradient kit.
Right. So it's
So it's
you're
gonna
changing
change,
colors.
yeah.
Actually. The background's going to change and get darker.
Yeah. I love these two colors together too,
Yes.
this orange and
Yes. Yes, I know. It's a stunning combination. Anything with that yellow in it too, like green and purple, looks really nice.
purple. And these
together,
were just
too.
leftovers in my stash.
Yeah.
So
You
that's
put them to good use.
that's my whip.
Good for you.
What about you? What have you got?
Well, you know, I've sort of been working on this one forever, but I wanted to give you a progress update. This is my boxy and buttony that I'm doing in the Gaielsk cotton and wool blend.
Yep.
And look, Barb, I'm almost done. I think another
Wow.
3 inches maybe on the bottom.
Yep.
As I wanted to kind of hit me mid hip.
Let me see where that's going to come on your sleeves. Yeah.
And
So
it's
that's almost-
it's kind of wide in here. So I took my needles out, put in my waste yarn and tried it on, and so now I know how many more inches to go. And then I think I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of a sleeve on here and sew some buttons on, and maybe by next podcast I'll be able to wear it.
Oh my
I've
God.
been working on this for the better part of the year. I started it.
When
We bought the
Holli
yarn.
was here.
Well, yeah, I bought the yarn when we went to see Jerry at Nordic Yarn.
Right, in Vancouver.
In Vancouver when we were there for Knit City. So that was September of last year.
Right.
So we've just been
And then you
working on it every
started-
time I go on a trip.
You had a fair amount done for Knit for Fun when we had Knit for
Yeah,
Fun, didn't you?
yeah. It's
Yeah.
I mean, sweaters are a lot of knitting, right?
Well, it's fingering weight yarn.
Right. And then Bristol Ivy is coming
Yes.
to Edmonton in the fall. So I started a Bristol Ivy pattern.
What?
It's going to be the year of sweaters.
I didn't know you started a Bristol Ivy pattern.
Oh yeah, that's my secret side knit along.
When do you have time to knit another
Well,
sweater?
I have these other friends who wanted to do a cable sweater
Yeah.
project, and they wanted to do a knit along just to so everybody would stay on task. And so I thought,
My
well,
God,
I'll
you're
do
half
that.
done.
This is
I didn't know about this.
This is wool stock, and this is a Bristol Ivy pattern called Offshore V-neck. So it's got a simple cable in it.
Who are you knitting this with?
Maureen, Catherine, Robbie, and Wendy get together once a week and do a little check-in. Yeah. you got to knit with friends, right? Otherwise, you never knit. Are you feeling left out? I would have invited you, but I think you have to go to church. All right, you can come.
It's too late now.
Oh
my God!
Anyway,
yes.
yeah. So that's another sweater I have in on the needles.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And yeah, very nice, simple cable, so you can kind of visit and look at the pattern at the same time without.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. I really like wool stock. I mean,
Yeah.
there isn't a yarn that I don't. I said this to a customer the other day. We were looking for yarns, and I said, this is one it's almost all synthetic. I said, but there isn't a yarn in here that I wouldn't use. Right? So
it's true.
It's nice. Yeah.
I know we always think, oh God, we've got too many yarns. We have to kind of
we do.
We get rid of some, but how do you do that?
Yeah.
Like, anyways,
yeah. These are difficult decisions. Yeah.
Well, that is just beautiful.
Thank
Can
you.
you show me the pattern too?
Yeah. It's so it's a single.
I might
pattern.
go home and cast on and see if I can beat her.
A dreamer. So yeah, this is it here.
Swan Islands. I
Yes.
should have known. They make beautiful patterns.
Yes.
The offshore V-neck. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll remember that.
So it's just a nice. I thought it was a nice simple pattern. So there's a cable up the front, no cables on the back, and then there's a saddle shoulder. So there's a cable up the sleeve that goes onto the top of the shoulder.
That's going to be so beautiful to take to Wales.
Yeah, I don't
If you
think
can
I'll
get
be
it done.
done for that, but yes, it would be very nice to take to Wales.
Even if you weren't completely done, you could take the sweater and finish the sleeves on the plane.
possibly.
Oh, that's
Remember
so
backpack,
beautiful.
but yeah, in place of a jacket, I'd have to knit fast.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
All right,
And
what
then
else is on our list?
There's this other
Oh,
project
yes.
that we're working on, and this
Yeah.
is our knit along.
That's
just
right.
you and me and everybody else.
Yeah,
So
we
we're
are.
doing a knit along based on The Lodge by Holli Yeoh.
Yeah,
And this is done in our epic yarn.
that's right.
Yeah.
Here.
So show me where you are. on
Okay.
yours.
Well, first of all, I did gauge swatches because I have learned that I don't always knit to gauge.
Right.
Yes, and
Good for you.
This was my first one. It was too big,
Okay.
so I knit another one.
Yeah.
I actually
Just
went down
right.
to a 4 needle, and I think our pattern
Oh.
calls for a 5.
Yeah. You went down 2 needle
I
sizes.
did.
And when we say 4, we're talking millimeter sizes.
Yes, we're
So-
truly Canadian. We're all
Yeah.
about millimeter. This is the Lodge pattern from Holli Yeoh. She's brilliant.
Mhm.
She's created a way to do the log cabin blanket. It's really simple, right? Just starts with a square and you just pick up stitches, always rotating at 90 degrees. I love this pattern though. I've done dozens of log cabins
Yeah.
and I just love them because they're great stash busters. Again, it's all about using up stash.
It is. And you're using a 4.5.
Am I?
Yeah. I just looked.
Okay, some of the squares might be done with a 4.
So last night I thought I better cast on and get mine started. So I sent my sister a text and I said, "Can you send me a picture of what you've done? Because
Yeah.
I want the colors to be the same."
Mhm.
And then she
And
did
you
that,
asked
and then I
me-
said, "What size of blanket are you making?"
Mhm.
And she said medium. And so I thought, I'd already started, and I started the small. So I went back to the picture and I blew it up and I counted her stitches and I wrote her back and said, hey, you got 14 stitches, not 16 or 18.
No, I
or
had
whatever.
12.
Well, 12 is what's showing,
Mhm.
but 14 is the number that you cast on.
So did I actually knit the medium?
No, you're knitting the small. Anyway, I think
You should have asked me how many rows I was casting on, not how many stitches.
maybe how many ridges you were knitting.
Technicality. Potato.
But look, Barb,
Tomato.
I think we're working at the same gauge.
Oh,
So,
good.
Except I used the wrong color.
Oh,
So
but who cares, right? I mean, it's a log cabin. That's
Right.
that's the cool thing. Maybe we make all 4 just a little bit different.
right. So we were using the same colorways. We were thinking that maybe what we would do is try and split this blanket in half.
It takes a
and knit
long time to knit a blanket.
and split the work, and as long as our gauge was matching, it would be okay.
Yeah.
So the good news is the gauge is the same.
Don't
and
try
even
this
though,
at home.
Even though she tried to get me to knit the wrong size, we knit the right size. So I just have to maybe check my colors out, and yeah. Anyway, it's a fun pattern, right? And you learn a lot of things
You
by
do.
doing this, because when Holly designs a pattern, she always includes some really cool techniques
It's
in
true.
it. Yeah. So what we're going to try and do as part of our retail, as part of leading the CAL and helping people out, is we're going to produce some videos to show you how we're tackling some of these new techniques in Holly's pattern. One of which is, like you said, to use circular needles, because it's all joined up modularly.
I don't know if you can see this, but I've actually got 2 sets of needles here going. Just because I didn't have a cable long enough, but I'm going to get one, and then I can do it all on one.
Right. But if you don't, I mean, this is great, Barb. Maybe you should just carry on like this.
Yeah.
Because you can use, I mean, by the end of it, you may have 4 needles in there.
Right.
Right? Because it gets big.
Yeah.
Not because you have to, but because it gets big.
Tell everybody the tip that you found about needle sizes. You're using a smaller.
Oh, so that doesn't work on a flat thing like this where you have to turn. But on my cardigan, for example.
No, but you can have your feeder needle feeding off on a smaller.
Only if you're knitting in the round. It only works if you knit in the round.
Well, we are. On imagine this is kind of in the round.
No. It is kind of, but it's not exactly. So here's the difference. Right, in this sweater, I'm knitting in the round. It's one complete circle. So what I do is I put I'm using interchangeable needles. I've got my 5 millimeter here, and I've got a 3.5 millimeter over here, because these stitches are always being mounted up onto the smaller needle, and I'm always knitting with the larger needle. In this blanket, even though we're using circular needles and we're kind of knitting in the round, you have to turn your work.
And knit back.
And knit back.
Yes.
And so anytime you have to turn your work and knit on the other side, this
you're
little
right.
trick with the interchangeables won't work.
It would work
say that
if
again?
you were.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
You are right. It would work though when you're going to a next square, because you're going to you knit down to the end and then you're knitting this way.
Yeah. So you just have to make sure that the needle that's in your right hand is the right size for the gauge. The needle in your left hand does nothing but hold the stitches. Yeah. It's just you have to be careful if you're turning your work. You have to make sure that the needle that's in your right hand is the right needle.
Yeah. Otherwise, you can end a multi-gauged blanket like I'm doing.
It's it doesn't. So I think the point of this discussion is the really important point is that it doesn't matter what size needles you use as long as you get gauge. And the blanket gauge isn't so important unless you're trying to share the workload with another person.
Yeah.
But it is a good idea to do a gauge swatch, because that way you know whether or not your blanket's going to end up at the dimensions that it's supposed to.
Right.
Which is the whole point of our next work in progress.
Okay.
Which is the quintessential cardigan.
Right.
So we're doing a workshop. Barb and I are teaching a workshop on the quintessential cardigan. And this is a beautiful pattern from Church Mouse Yarns and Tea. The workshop idea was actually suggested by a couple of our customers.
Yeah.
And they wanted to learn how to knit a cardigan.
That actually fits.
That actually fits, yeah. And so this is a really good pattern. It's got 5 pieces to it. There's a back, 2 fronts, and 2 sleeves. It's all sewn together, so you have those nice seams that we're going to do. There's some short row shaping in it. There's some increases. There's some buttonholes. So it's a really good class for learning sweater knitting techniques. Yeah. And then we're also going to talk, everybody has to come with a gauge swatch, and the gauge swatch has to be blocked because we want everyone's dimensions to work out to the dimensions that they're expecting. And so we will talk about the effects or the consequences of having a gauge that's looser than the gauge in the pattern, or a gauge that's tighter than the gauge that's in the pattern. So
the hardest part for me is to decide what yarn to do it out of.
Yeah, so what are you thinking?
I'm thinking I'm going to use Silk Cloud. I so love the feel of this sweater.
Not Silk Cloud on its own.
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm still debating that, because you can do it with 2 strands of Silk Cloud.
Yeah.
It might be a little floofy for me, so I might use Seema.
Right.
But I haven't quite decided. Or maybe Pebble.
So you might come with 2 or 3 gauge swatches.
Swatches, yeah.
So that's the other thing about doing a gauge swatch is you get to test out your fabric. And,
Right.
And you can see what kind of fabric you're making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about you? Did you decide?
I think so. I think I'm going to use Elspeth Lebold Silky Wool.
Oh, that's a
And
beautiful choice.
I love this blue color. Yeah, I think this is going to make a really nice
on you.
sweater.
Hold it up to you. Oh, look at it with her hair.
Yeah, I might have to
really-
get my hair, re-dyed this color.
That's pretty. Very, very
Never
pretty.
hurts to have your hair match your garments, right?
That would be a good project to take on holidays too, wouldn't it?
Well, we're going to have this one done before I go.
Oh,
Because
fantastic.
the workshop, we're going to finish the workshop before Fiber Frolic at the end of May.
Right.
And so,
You'll be done.
as an instructor, you have to stay one step ahead of your students, right? So this cardigan has to be done before then. So I can wear it to the Fiber Frolic
There you go.
and to Wales.
And Wales.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So any other
anything
works
else?
in progress?
I don't think so. We have one more FO we forgot to talk about, and that was the top that Pat just finished
Right.
in Mirage.
Right. This is another Shibui
Yeah.
project. Yeah. So tell us about
yeah,
that.
that's this one sitting right here beside us.
Can you pull that mannequin closer? I'll hold the pattern for
You
you.
think I need to?
Is it in the camera? Yeah.
No. Okay. All right. So this is a cute little top.
A little bit
A
more.
little bit more. We made the sleeveless version, and
And again, we'll put pictures in as well to
Yeah.
show. But yeah.
but this is out of a brand new yarn for us, and we're going to feature this yarn in our yarn tasting on Local Yarn Shop Day.
Okay.
It's called Fern, and it's an organic cotton yarn from Shibui. This has been made under the GOTS standards,
Okay.
so it's certified organic, and it's beautiful.
Right.
It just worked up so lovely. It has got a little kind of sort of like a peplum at the bottom done out of silk cloud. We just thought it was such a pretty pattern. We
Yes.
wanted to knit a store sample of it up. So we've got that, and you can knit it with sleeveless or with out. You can do
Well,
the
like a
short.
sleeve cap.
Well, you can knit it with
Oh.
sleeves, or you can have it sleeveless.
Wow, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you, as soon as this yarn came in, you kitted it up and put it out, and I
Mhm.
think we've sold several kits already.
Oh,
People
sure.
just love this design.
Yeah, it's a great simple summer top,
Mhm.
right? With just a little bit of fun things added.
Yeah.
The sheerness of the bottom of it, I think, would be really pretty with a capri pant or something underneath it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we'll do, this yarn is on our online store, but what I'll do is add to the description to say, if you want to do this project, you need to order this many skeins of
Oh, that would be
fern,
lovely.
and then a corresponding color in silk cloud. And
We carry
it
it-
doesn't have to be the same color. Like, wouldn't this look really nice too if you did the blue top with the cream
You could.
silk cloud? That would look really nice
could.
too.
We have it in 3 shades. We just brought in 3. We have the white for summer. We have a bone color. Here's fern in bone. And then we have the blue, and it's called Shore. It's actually one of the most popular shades that Shibui has. Right now it's
That light
brand
blue.
new.
Yeah.
And I love that shade too.
Yeah. But if you want to layer this with other things, I think the cream and the bone are really nice because they go with all the colors in your
Sure.
wardrobe, right? And then you can put a little jacket or a little shawl over top and be good to go.
You really can't go wrong with the neutral, can you?
You can't. No.
You know?
All the colors are really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Barb, you brought in some new yarns. We're going to talk about
Yes.
those as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this month it's kind of all about color, and these yarns are so hot. These are gradients.
So, are these the same 2 balls of yarn?
Yes.
They're just wound.
Yeah.
One's wound with the dark on the outside, and one's wound with the dark on the inside.
Yeah. I had to bring out both because I looked at the bags and I thought, oh no, they're different colors. And then when I got them out here, I saw that they were the same. So this is a yarn from Lang. It's called Ayumi.
Right. So it sounds Japanese.
It does. It very much does. It's 77 cotton, 23 nylon. And
nice. And
look
it's
at
a
how
sport
neat.
weight gauge.
lace weight, Cynthia. 30 stitches. on a 2.5 to a 3.5.
Wow.
Now,
Okay.
when you look this up on Ravelry, as of today, when we're chatting, there are, I think, 7 patterns. It's so brand new. There's not much patterning.
Right.
But any lace shawl that you want to do, this is perfect for.
Nice.
How many meters again on here?
Let's see.
700.
Oh,
Found it.
wow.
So this is perfect. One ball will do a lace shawl. Usually a lace shawl is about 700 meters. I mean, you can get bigger ones and smaller ones, but this is perfect. And it's beautiful. Just beautiful.
Yeah. I'm not seeing the, I'm just not seeing the
Meterage?
meterage on it.
It's right here. Right there.
Oh,
Here, let me hold it farther away for you.
Right, it does. It says 100 grams, 700 meters.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
In very tiny printing.
That's right. It's very tiny. But isn't it? Okay, so
My husband asked me this morning if I felt my age, and I said no. She lied.
yeah.
Yeah, this is really pretty. This is really pretty.
Very
Cotton,
pretty.
Cotton's nice. It's nice to have some cotton yarns for summer. That's for sure. Yeah. Very nice.
So
So we've
that's
got
that.
3 colorways in it.
Right. We there's actually 5 colors that we bought. They just haven't arrived yet.
Ah, okay.
So these are the
Okay.
first ones. And who knows, by the time this airs, we may have the others
Right,
come
yeah.
in too. And then we have another one
Right.
from Haiku. This is a really neat yarn. And
Yes.
again, we saw this in Chicago.
As well, yes. If you watch our video from Knit City, we talk about this when we went to visit our friends Dennis and Diane at Wool and Wicker, and she was showing us a garment that Diane was showing us a garment that she did out of it.
That's right. And then when Cynthia and I went to Chicago, we saw that Hillary at Nina Chicago, she had a pattern in her store that she talked about that was so popular, and it was done out of one of these.
Yeah.
And so Hillary graciously gave us the pattern.
Right.
And so we have some printed out. So if you want to do her shawl,
Okay.
you can get a skein of concentric and we'll pop her pattern in your package.
Oh, nice.
with
So
you.
this is 100% alpaca.
Right.
And what they've done with this one is they've put 4 strands of alpaca together.
That's right.
And then the colors change. So one of those strands will change as you go through the ball, and it will gradually shift from being the color in the center to the color on the outside.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I whipped up
Of course
a little,
you did.
a little poncho. I started
I don't
here.
know when she knits, but
Okay.
she knits all the time.
This was knit months ago. This is as soon as we came home from Diane and Dennis's.
Yes.
I started this.
Wow.
And this was TV knitting. So I've had this done. How long ago was that?
I don't know.
When did we go?
Oh, so you're bringing your FOs out for a second time, are you?
No, I had this in hiding. I finished this
Yep.
off, and then I
Yep.
just tucked it away with the yarn because we weren't bringing the yarn out for a while.
Right. Okay.
We were waiting.
It feels really soft. You've knit this up nice and loose, which is a really good way to make your yarn go further, because this is one ball.
That's one ball.
Right.
Yeah, and it was like a 10 millimeter needle.
Right. Yeah. So it feels nice and soft. It's a nice gentle rib stitch, but then you can see the colors changing as you go down the skein. This is
Right.
really nice, Barb.
It's quite
So
pretty,
you
right?
kind of turned it into a poncho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll post a picture because I have the cutest picture of Sabrina modeling this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Lovely. Nice.
It was so
Yes,
much
it's so
fun to
soft.
knit.
Yeah.
So here's the pattern instructions. Cast on 84, knit 2, purl 2. Repeat until you have 3 meters left, and then you bind off and sew end A to side B. So you just kind of take the end and take it over to the side and sew it together.
Right. Or if you
Super
wanted an
simple.
infinity cowl, bind your sew your bind off edge to your cast on edge. Put a twist in it, whatever you like. Hey?
Yeah.
Beautiful, Barb. Really nice. All right, so that's those are some new yarns that
Right.
we've got coming out for
And then-
summer. And what have you got there?
This was my other acquisition.
Oh my goodness,
Okay.
where did this come from?
Okay, this was waiting for me yesterday. Scared the hell out of me.
Barb hates mice.
Oh my God, I'm terrorized by mice. So I got into the office upstairs, and
Yes.
here's this thing on the desk. I nearly shit.
Did you scream out loud?
Oh my God.
Oh,
And I'm sure that Sabrina thought that this was incredibly funny.
it is.
But
It
here-
is cute. But
it's-
you do have a big phobia of mice.
I do.
Yeah. So you're
Isn't
getting
this-
over it.
Isn't this cute? She gave this to me.
I wonder what a fear of mice is called.
I'm sure there's a real name for it.
I have arachnophobia.
Yes, you have fear of spiders, which I
Yes.
didn't know about until like a couple years ago.
Oh,
But you're definitely
terrifying.
scared of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. You're
Let us know if you know what the fear of mice is, if there's a real name for it. But,
so you're getting over it.
well, yeah,
So Sabrina
Look-
crocheted you a little mouse. It's
my
very
God.
realistic looking.
it's so cute.
Yes.
So she's been doing these little creatures.
And she doesn't use a pattern, does she?
No.
She just makes it up. Sabrina is a wonderful artist. You give
She's
her any
amazing.
kind of medium and she will create art out of it. Yeah.
So thank you, Sabrina. I said thank you already, but it's just so much fun.
Is your hand shaking a little bit?
Is it?
Holding that mouse?
No. Well, maybe. It's the
We-
thought about putting my finger around its tail.
We grew up on a farm, and
Oh, gosh.
I'm sure you've had several encounters with mice, but
Yes.
they haven't been positive.
No.
You're
And
not alone, I'm sure.
that reminds me too,
Yes?
because we have to talk about flash mob. too.
Flash mob.
I know, it's-
Yes. Did you bring a skein out?
No.
Okay.
We have to
we'll
stop.
have to go get it.
Mhm.
All right. Well, why don't you do that?
Okay.
And I'll just talk really briefly about some videos that are coming up.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Yeah. Flash mob this month is amazing. And while Barb goes to fetch the skein, I'll just let you guys know that we've also been working on some videos to put out. So in between our podcasts, we thought we would put out some videos that respond to some requests from customers. So we had some people asking us to show them how to use the flexi flips. And so we created a video called Knit in the Round 4 Ways. And it shows you how to knit in the round using the Addy flip sticks, then the Addy flexi flips, then an Addy circular done magic loop, and then 2 Addy circulars knitting in the round with the 2 circulars. So it's one video, all the same project, just 4 different ways of knitting in the round. So if you're curious about what's the difference between knitting on double points versus magic loop, that video kind of answers that question. If you want to know how to use the flexi flips, that video kind of answers that question. And if you're just curious to see, how you can knit in the round using needles that you might have at home instead of going out to the store to buy new ones, that video kind of answers that question as well. And then somebody else asked about knitting a sock. And so I'm working on a video right now that is basically just me knitting a sock. It's not so much a tutorial as, kind of watch and learn. So from cast on to Kitchener stitch at the end, it's me knitting a sock in real time except sped up. So look for that one. And then with the Lodge, this pattern right here, Holli Yeoh has some really interesting techniques that you can use to improve your knitting. One of them is spit splicing, and spit splicing so that you get a color change that happens at a specific point. So we'll do a video to show you that one. There's also, she talks to you about how to knit the edge stitches so that when you go to pick up on the modular knitting, it's much easier to do. So we'll demonstrate how to do that. So we're going to do some support, I call them support videos for this knit along that will show you how to do some specific techniques involved in knitting this blanket. All right. So let's talk about flash mob.
Let's talk about flash mob.
Tell us about the inspiration, Barb.
Okay. So this is it.
OMG.
Yeah. When we
This
saw
is-
this box and we opened it up
Right.
from Jana at Handmaiden,
Yeah.
we squealed. Okay, it's been snowing here for months and
Give
months.
me some color. Yes.
So imagine this against, a white background.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So we thought, okay, this is it. So a couple of months ago, I sent Jana a picture of an Alberta wood lily.
Right.
This is a
We
flower.
used to call it tiger lily at home.
Tiger lily, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a flower that's found in, grows wild in Alberta. And Cynthia and I our parents were raised on a farm west of the city.
Yeah.
And we had kind of a wooded area. It was a fun place to grow up.
And our mom loved this flower. Mm-hmm. And our dad wasn't huge on romance.
No.
But every now and then he would come back to the house with a small bouquet of tiger lilies for
our mom.
And
And so with
lovely.
Mom's Day coming up and with our mom who has been away, she's spent the whole winter in Palm Springs and we miss her too. Mm-hmm. We wanted to do something that would remind us of our mom and our dad, and so this is it.
And
so,
just give that really fire pop of color in whatever you're making.
Right.
Yeah.
So we wanted this just to have some color. So you can make a cowl or a scarf or even a smaller shawl out of one skein of these. Mm-hmm. But so many of you have asked us for triples or doubles and triples that we put together a few color combos. We think that reminds me of that puffin bird.
Yeah.
Where's that from? South America?
Yeah, it almost looks like a little penguin, doesn't it?
Yeah. So we thought you could put this color with Forbidden. That's the one that Cynthia's holding. And these are, the shades are available on our website to look like.
This one's Relic.
Oh, sorry, that was Relic.
Yeah.
That's Forbidden. This is a really charcoaly gray.
Yeah,
that makes a nice
semi-solid.
neutral background for anything. This one is Forbidden, and it kind of looks like a puffin bird on its own.
As well, yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes, when we're trying to see how colors go together, this is what we do in the shop. We just take the two skeins and twist them around each other like this. Look at all the colors in there.
Yeah.
That charcoal gray, and there's navy blue. There's a little bit of a chartreusey kind of green in there. They all just go so beautifully with that tiger lily. Sorry, wood lily.
Wood lily.
And then this is myrrh.
Yeah, so more of a neutral. Oh, team it with this one.
Right.
More of a neutral kind of base. I mean,
it's going to go with pretty much anything. I can't think of a color that you wouldn't put this fiery orange. I've fallen in love with eating tangelos right now, and that's the color of that.
Isn't it? Yeah. And then we actually had one combo that one of the girls put together who works here. She took myrrh, this wood lily, and then temptation, which is a really bright red. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it almost looked Mexican. It was really pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you can take so many different colors and just put them all together. So if you wanted to do a find your fade or a free your fade, or if you want to do a sweater with stripes, because these colors all work so nicely together, it doesn't look stripy like it would. It looks like it's a nice blended color.
Cynthia, the thing I was thinking about doing this too is with some color work. Do you remember that capelet that the sisters had at the Sister Art Studio in Chicago?
Oh, yes, I do.
It was so pretty, you guys.
Right.
It was, that's what I was thinking of doing. It was like around the neck, it was color work stripes, and then it changed. I think there was only 3 shades. I might actually cast that on.
That's a great idea.
See if do a swatch at least of it.
I'll go back to that video and watch that yarn shop tour so that we get the name of it, because I think that was a pattern that she had on Ravelry.
Exactly. Yeah. It's her own pattern.
Right. So we'll find it and put it in the show notes.
Sure.
Okay.
Anyways.
Right. Oh, man. So Flash Mob comes out on the 20th.
Yeah.
There's a limited number of skeins.
That's right.
So if you want it, order it online. That's the best way to get.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. on the 20th
of
April, right before Local Yarn Shop Day.
That's right. 2 big events this month.
Yeah, really good. All right. Well, thanks for spending some time with me today, Barb.
Yeah.
It's so nice to be able to do this with each other.
I know.
And
It's
visit.
really fun.
And visit with all of our friends as well.
And thank you for watching us and staying right to the very end
Yeah.
while we yap.
All right. Have a great week and or month. And in the show notes or in the comments, sorry, if there's anything else you'd like to see, please do let us know.
Oh, and we're going to be posting
Right.
about a contest. We had a contest last month and we
Right.
picked winners.
So we're going to post the bag winners' names at the end of the video.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
All right.
Thanks,
See you,
everybody. See you next time.